He was in prison for 4 years for assaulting my boss. And now he's out because my boss found out I cheated on him. I'm all alone now, and my kids hate me. Years ago, my life fell apart in a way I never expected. I remember that night as if it were yesterday. I was sure I could keep a secret, but secrets always come out, and mine came out in the worst way. My husband Mark and I had been married for 12 years. Our marriage was not perfect, but we had met at university, fallen in love quickly, and started a family. Mark was dependable and always put our needs first. He would get up early to fix things around the house or stay up late to help the kids with their homework. Over the years, our marriage had gradually sunk into a routine that made me feel trapped and dissatisfied. I worked as a marketing manager for a medium-sized company where I met Evan. He was my boss, charming and confident, the kind of man who commands attention. At first, the harmless flirting turned into an outright affair. At first, the secret meetings, stolen glances, and late-night texts made me feel alive for the first time in years. But as the months went by, the excitement gradually faded, replaced by the guilt that was constantly tormenting me. I knew I was risking everything, including my marriage, the well-being of my children, and the stable life I had built with Mark. I kept telling myself to end it, but I found reasons not to. It wasn't love, not really. Evan was just an excuse for me to escape the dull reality. I was too selfish to face the truth. Then, one night came that changed everything. It was a Thursday, and I told Mark I would work late. But he had suspected me for some time and decided to go to the office to surprise me. When he walked in, Evan and I were at the worst moment. Mark had an unforgettable look of pure anger and betrayal on his face as he stormed into the office and punched Evan until the security guard intervened. Evan was seriously injured, and Mark was arrested on the spot. He was later charged with assault and sentenced to 4 years in prison. In the days that followed, I tried to contact Mark to explain and apologize and do whatever I could to make amends, but he refused to speak to me, and I couldn't blame him. His friends and family turned against me, making it clear that they were responsible for what had happened. The children, who were only 8 and 10 at the time, couldn't fully understand what had happened, but they understood enough to hate me for going to prison with Mark. I had to take on the role of single parent, but the children rejected me no matter what I did. I tried to reconnect with them, but they blamed me for their father's absence. They cried all night, and anger replaced their once happy spirits. I was too afraid to look in the mirror because I would feel sick when I saw myself. It was over quickly, but the damage was done. Shortly afterwards, Evan was transferred to another department, and I never saw him again. The 4 years that Mark spent in prison felt like an eternity, and every day was a reminder that I had caused a loving husband to lose his family, his stability, and the respect of his children. I went to therapy in the hope that it would help me accept my choices, but the guilt grew. I was lonely and suffocating, and my friends distanced themselves from me. I didn't know how to deal with the scandal. I tried to keep the family together and make sure the children were looked after, but their indifference hurt more than any words could have done. When Mark got out of prison, I didn't know what to expect. I thought maybe we could talk, or at least find a way to co-parent the children. I even allowed myself the foolish hope that there might be, even though I knew the chances were slim. Mark returned to a world that had changed. He had become hardened in prison, and I saw the warmth and kindness that had once been for him in his eyes replaced by indifference. He came to the house to see the children, and when they ran to him with open arms, they barely glanced at me. The hurt was palpable, and I knew that whatever bond we had shared had vanished, perhaps forever. Pain suffering, Mark is rebuilding his life. Although he doesn't speak to me directly, I hear from mutual friends that he has found work and is trying to move on. The children spend every second weekend with him, and I can see how happy they are in his company. I try to offer a helping hand, but every conversation feels strained, as if I'm talking to a stranger rather than my own children. They look at me with resentful eyes, waiting for an apology that words can never truly convey. Philly, I am now alone, truly alone, and this is my well-deserved punishment. The home we once shared is now nothing but an empty reminder of what I have lost. My children may never forgive me, but I cannot blame them. They watched their father's life crumble because of me. I know I can never undo the pain I have caused, nor return to the life I have destroyed. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night. I hope it's all a nightmare. When I roll over, I find Mark next to me, our children asleep in the room. But reality always reminds me that I am the author of my own misfortune. The love we once had is gone, replaced by an unfillable void. In this void, I can only recall the life I once inadvertently missed, making reckless choices again and again. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. More exciting stories are waiting for you.